Okay, welcome everybody for the shiur. Now it's the Rosh Chodesh Adar Beis. Means it's Marbim B'Simcha. We're going to higher happiness. So we should have only happiness and healthiness, and we should be with Moshiach. Okay, this week's shiur of Parshas Pikudei, right, dedicated by anonymous benefactor for the Eden in Ukraine and the Eden all around the world. Should be safe, and that is part of the ingathering of the exiles that happens with coming of Moshiach, and we are very in the days of Moshiach, very close to the complete revelation. Should be in the revealed good, get it all out, and immediately come to the ultimate redemption, Moshiach now. Thank you very much. Okay, so this parsha is the last parsha of Chumash Shmeis, Parshas Chazak. Means like it's actually says that the end of a document, the last line has to incorporate, has to include everything. So it means that this is summarizing everything that happened till now, the whole Chumash Shmeis. What's the Exodus, Yetzias Mitzrayim, all the problems, the suffering, before that, and then the Matan Torah, and then they do the golden calf, then the tshuva, and finally the building of the Mishkan. That's the pinnacle of the building up of where we are going. So first thing is, let's ask a few questions, and then we'll see. The truth of the matter that the instructions and the whole actualization, building the Mishkan, is written basically double at least. Truma Tetzaveh is telling us Hashem's command, telling Moshe Rabbeinu how to build, what to build, and exactly what to do. That's two parshas. Then comes Parshas Kesselman in the middle, and comes Vayakal Pikudei is telling us how Moshe Rabbeinu told it to the Jewish people, and they actually did it. Now, the classical and famous question, you could just say one line. And Moshe told them everything Hashem told them to do, and the Jews did it exactly what Hashem told them to do. And it says that they did it exactly what Hashem told Moshe to do it. Why have to repeat two parshas again, especially saying this is the end of the parshas? What is the point of that? What are we gaining from that, of repeating it, everything again a second time? Okay. Now the question is, what is a higher level? If you're repeating it, is the Truma Tetzaveh a higher level that Hashem is speaking to Moshe Rabbeinu? Or the idea of when Moshe is talking to the Jewish people and they're actually doing it? What I would almost say, not only what's a higher level, what's the advantage of each one of them? There must be an advantage. We have both of them, which means there's an advantage in each one of them. Then it says, Mishkan Eidus. This is the accountability of the Mishkan. The Mishkan Eidus. It says twice the word Mishkan. So as Rashi said, that why is saying twice the word Mishkan? It's a hint for that the Beis Hamikdash will be destroyed twice. And that will be a Mishkan, a guarantee for the Eibishter. He takes away a Mashkan, takes a guarantee for what we owe him, for our Beires of the Eden. He's taking away that Mishkan. So question number one, we are talking now here about building the Mishkan. Why are you talking already about the destruction? Let us enjoy the moment. Now we are building the Mishkan, talking about the Mishkan. Why are they bringing in the idea of that the Eibishter will bring two destructions because of the Averis of the Eden, and that will be Mishkan the guarantee for that. And also, how is that a guarantee for the Averis of the Jewish people? They sinned when they had the Beis Hamikdash, when there was a revelation of godliness. If you're taking it away from them, what will happen? How could it help? You want a guarantee means you want the guy he owes you to pay the lender wants that the guy who loaned should pay his loan. Here, but the Eibishter, we sinned, yeah, The Rebbe is the one that what? That we should pay him back, we should do tshuva, let's say. So how is he doing it by taking away the Mishkan? He's taking away the revelation of godliness that we had that is helping us to keep Torah mitzvahs. He's taking that away. How is that making it, becoming a guarantee that we'll pay him, that we'll get it back? And as practically as it happened, Golus didn't make it better. Definition of Golus, not only physically we are in exile, definition of Golus is the spiritual Golus also. There's no revelation of godliness, and people sin more, and we see, as we see in history what happened. So what is the point in taking that kind of a mashkan? Then it says that it's called Mishkan Ha'edus, Mishkan Ha'edus. So it says that this Mishkan is a testimony that the Eibishter forgave the Jewish people on doing of the golden calf. Why did he forgive? And if he forgave, would he make a whole tumult before that? So therefore, we have to understand that when we're saying that that is a testimony that he forgave us, that means that brings the forgiveness. How is the Mishkan accomplishing the forgiveness on the golden calf? So in Pshat, you could say before you use the gold for Avodah Zarah, now using the gold for the Beis Hamikdash. But we're talking about the real idea, not only Hashem should forgive us. Hashem has no problem to forgive us. We're talking, we should forgive ourselves, I would say. That's not also the right thing. Forgiveness comes by the Eibishter only when we cleanse it, when we fix it up. How is the building the Mishkan brings the purification, the fixing up, right, of the sin of the golden calf. So here we'll have to hopefully talk about different levels of idol worshiping. What means somebody is saying is worshiping idols, so that he's not believing completely in the unity of the Eibishter. There's different levels in that. For example, somebody denying completely the existence of the Eibishter. Okay, we'll get to that soon. Maybe I'm just in getting this soon. Now trying some questions, then we'll try to answer as much as possible. What is Parshas Vayakel, the word Vayakel, I think as we mentioned last week, is gathering. It means it's a collectiveness of all the Jewish people coming together and becoming one, and all the yarzeit of the Jewish people. But that has a tremendous effect. When you're talking about Pikudei, Pikudei means you give an account, that you mention every detail. So the word Pikudei means that this parsha is more focusing on the details. Since Pikudei comes after Vayakel, means as great as the idea of the collectiveness of all the gathering of the Jewish people doing something together, and the accomplishment of the big thing of everybody accomplishing together, there is an advantage in the details, in every detail, over Vayakel. The Vayakel is the klal, is the general idea, the whole idea together. That's the ultimate shleimus. Pikudei is more to emphasize what is the greatness and the uniqueness of a detail, of one little detail. And in a certain way, if that comes after, that means after we come from Vayakel, then only after we come the appreciation of the collective and the shleimus, the completeness of everybody together, then you have to be able to come back down to the details and see the advantage in the detail, in every detail, that in a certain way is higher than the whole collective idea of together. Okay, now let's, because we're going here about the kapora and forgiving for the Eden, for the Egel. So let's look at the idea of, and the chum is is a mashkan, is a guarantee for. Why is Hashem punishing the Jewish people? A person that sinned is getting the punishment in Gehenna, what's it called? Why? He already finished his life. Nothing he could do about it now. So forgive him. Maybe it's the essence of goodness. Why can't you just forgive the person? Why does it have to go through the pain in the world to come for our sin? Rabbi is the essence of goodness. The guy ever says, "Film patient Yisrael malei mitzvahs kirim," and even the biggest sinner is full of mitzvahs like a pomegranate with seeds. So he has a lot of good things. So he did a few averas. So can't you forgive him? He's only a human being. He's the Yitzhahor. The Rebbe gave us it. The Rebbe himself is regretting the Yitzhahor. What is the point in our suffering in the world to come? Just want to mention a joke that some people say, "What is Gehenim?" Gehenim is and what is Gan Eden? She said the same thing. It's a big besmedrash. You sit and learn. Somebody is enjoying and do mitzvahs. Somebody learn to enjoy learning Torah and doing mitzvahs. He's in Gan Eden. Somebody is not enjoying it. So they can't just sit the whole day and learn and do mitzvahs. He's not enjoying it. It's the opposite of enjoyment. Just for a joke too. But it doesn't. But in other words, if you think you have to be punishment because the person is responsible, but nobody will come and tell you what's happening Lamaila. Maybe why? Because nobody knows anymore. So maybe they should forgive us and not to punish. And the same question, you want to stretch it more, a little harder. Why is punishment in this world also? So Hashem should forgive us. Especially say that we say Slach lo novin kichotanu, and we say Baruch Hashem Chanan Amar B'Lislech, Hashem forgives, and we say Baruch Hashem forgives. So we're praising that His infinitely kindness is forgiving. So why is the punishment in this world? Then, if we have time, we'll see what means Gehenna. What means that? He's saying that the person in the world to come, he goes through the cleansing and the painful cleansing. What does it mean? Is there fire, there's brooms, there's sticks? What is this? A spiritual world. What means Gehenna? Okay, so we'll add another one or two questions, and then we'll start to get to the answer. So why did Hashem make that the way of serving Hashem will bring sacrifices? And somebody told me, what is the point? I mean, it looks like such a primitive kind of idea to take an animal and to slaughter it and then burn it on the Mizbeach. What is the understanding of that? If there is an understanding, if there's no understanding, it's a chok like Adum, okay, we'll accept it. There's no problem with that. But is it possible to explain what is the idea that such a big thing that and most of the mitzvahs are connected with the Beis Hamikdash, have a physical place where to serve Hashem. Hashem is everywhere. You could serve Hashem in every place. The Shemayim v'Sa'ot Animole, the heaven and earth are full. Hashem is everywhere. There's nothing beside Hashem. Einod milvado. That's why you have to have a Mishkan of Beis Hamikdash in the first place. And especially if you want to have a Beis Hamikdash even, I say now every shul is a Mishkan Ma'at, is a small Beis Hamikdash. Why is that good enough for always? Why need this big Beis Hamikdash? Especially, okay, even if you have a Beis Hamikdash, everybody will gather together 3 times a year. Let's accept it. But let's sit in Davner there. Spiritual Aveda. Why take animals and everyone has to bring a korban? Some Meforshim explain, because the Jewish people were used to bring sacrifices for the Avodah Zarah, for idol worshipping, so you couldn't take him away from that completely. So he made it that you should do that for the Eibishter. But I'm not convinced that psychology will agree with that. If somebody is addicted, the way to stop him is to take him away completely from that. Maybe for a short time you give it to him slowly to unwind it, but not trying to continue forever. So maybe it should be that short time for Kabbalah, or it should stop completely and keep them for many years off it very strictly. And then they'll get free of the addiction for that. Especially the question is if the reason is only because they were used to it. So why when Moshiach comes, it's already so many thousands of years beyond the Avodah Zarah and all this history. Why there will be korbanos again? Okay, let's start seeing what's happening here. So let's see how the Mishkan and the Beis Hamikdash is the center of Jewish life. And for 2,000 years, we're still sitting and crying on the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash. And not only on the spiritual destruction, that we don't have the revelation, but also even the physical. And we have absolute confidence and faith and longing for it, for the rebuilding of the Beis Hamikdash, the true Beis Hamikdash. That's going to be the Shleimus. And as we mentioned, that is the way of to forgive us. Not the word forgiving is a little bit misleading, how we are being cleansed from the sin from all the sins, especially from the sin of Avodah Zarah, of the golden calf. The golden calf is the core, as we explained before, Parshas Pikudei, is the core of separation from the Eibishter. We're not going to go into now explain the problem, but so let's take a second. Different levels. What's the meaning of worshiping idols? So let's say in the different levels, going negativity from the worst to the more refined level of an atheist who doesn't believe in anything is the worst level. He doesn't believe in a superpower. Then comes another level. Person who believes in a superpower, but he thinks that the star and the moon and the sun and angels, they are ministers in Hashem's court, and Hashem is giving them some kind of freedom to give more, to give less. So they believe in the Eibishter, and the Eibishter created angels and different powers, and they're helping him to run the world. Does he need them really? Or doesn't need them? Doesn't make them. But that's reality. You see, the sun is giving energy. The moon is giving its energy, what it helps, and everything. So there's 70 ministers, Shivim Sorim, the 70 angels, who each one is in charge of a different country, right? So a person that thinks that somebody has control over the world, a little bit beside the Eibishter, that Hashem gives, even if it's saying accepting the idea that Hashem gave the angels right to do something, to have a choice. That's already Avodah Zarah. In other words, Elikim Acherim, any other gods, any other power beside the Eibishter. So he believes in the Eibishter 100%. But he believes that there's anything else that has any power beside the Eibishter. That's already Avodah Zarah, for a Jew for sure. For a Goy, not necessarily. Then there's another level where he thinks Hashem designed completely, created the world and created the Malachim and all these powers, and he leaves it up to them. He made them competent and big enough and great enough to be able to run the world, and he's involved in bigger things. So he's all not to be involved in running the world. Only if an emergency case and if there's something very big, he will come get involved. But normally he's not involved. That's really, even for a Goy not allowed to believe that Hashem, that Hashem left the world to run by the hosts of heaven and the even spiritual beings. That's a bit for even a Goy is not one. A Goy is to believe is allowed to have shiur that the Eibishter is running the world, and he uses malachim or the different powers to give them some kind of a choice. It's a Jew for a Jew, that's also a Avodah Zarah, idol worshiping. But for a Goy, if that's allowed, it's called shiur, partnership. There's somebody like sort of helping the Eibishter. But to think that the Eibishter gave it over completely in their hand, that's when a Goy is not allowed. Now there's a more refined level of Avodah Zarah. If somebody believes that he, with his cleverness, is able to run a good business. In other words, if he believes that there is something that has here we got in a different and more refined level, somebody learns Torah and he believes that his brilliant brain, that what gives him the understanding of Torah. That means he is a Metzias, he has some kind of a rights to that he has a free choice. But if he gives some kind of credit to himself that he's a Metzias, that's really also that's really the opposite of Achdus, of unity of the Eibishter. What is the real unity of the Eibishter? There's nothing beside the Eibishter. What means nothing beside that? There's no world. The whole world is that the Eibishter creates it. That's the whole existence of that. Even the ways of nature, in the logical ways, the Hashem is completely doing it. So in other words, when a person thinks that there is an existence that has an independent existence beside the Eibishter, that's already a concept of the opposite disconnection from unity of the Eibishter. The Eibishter is the only one, and Hashem is as the Shemayim V'Tzorz and Imolei, as we mentioned. I'm filling up heaven and earth. His honor is everywhere. The whole Metzius, the whole creation is just that what God is creating it. That's the existence that what God creates. That's what it is. There's nothing something beside the Eibishter. So now the golden calf was the core of that, as I think we explained it in Parshas Kisisa. You're moving away from the absolute unity of the Eibishter. The Eibishter is the only one. And to give place, to displace something where the Eibishter is not, it's not only the Eibishter. So now I will look in the Mishkan, we'll understand why they have to build a Mishkan. It means unity of the Eibishter means that you are completely seeing, if we say everything you're doing it for the sake of the Eibishter. And furthermore, everything you're doing, you're seeing, right? In everything you see godliness. And that the Beis Hamikdash took all your talents, the people that use all the talents that people have, and gold and silver, everything they had, to give that away for the, not everything, but to give you that for the Mishkan. It means to internalize that the Mishkan, everything, all the Gashim is one with the Eibishter. And from that, ultimately it says that the holiness from the Beis Hamikdash will spread the whole of Eretz Yisrael and so on in the whole world. Ultimately, this appreciation of it will spread everywhere. That means that's appreciation. So the Beis Hamikdash, the Mishkan and the Beis Hamikdash, that was the manifestation, the yarzeit of the Jew, to bring it, everything should be permeated with the idea that there's nothing beside Hashem. And therefore, brings Hashem is forgiving us of the golden cup. Not just forgiving because he's kind. He's like, you know what? I'll forgive you. Give you another chance. Why not? Why shouldn't he forgive? Just give you another chance. Because forgiveness means I'm forgiving you. But what's happening with you? Where are you? Let's assume a simple example. Somebody gave me a patch. So I said, you know what? I'm forgiving you. So I forgive him wholeheartedly. Mamish completely one-heartedly. But where is he? He now made himself a person that could hurt another person, and maybe did it a few times. So he is blemishing himself. So the fact that I'm forgiving him, I'm not going to punish him if I have the ability to punish him. But where is he? He is to fix the real forgiveness from the Eibishter point of view. Even the Jew will be cleansed from the idea. So the whole process of building the Mishkan and the Beis Hamikdash and the Korbanos is all a process of cleansing that to internalize the person. Is nothing that chet ha'egel that broke away in the person. That there's something. Not everything is completely the unity of the Eibishter. There's something outside the absolute, only the Eibishter. So through the yarzeit of the Mishkan, the physical Mishkan, that brought out the idea that Hashem is everything. Hashem is everywhere, and everything is Hashem, and Hashem is everything. And that's why he's forgiving him. And that explains why is there this suffering when a person sinned? His suffering is designed not to suffer him, to punish him. You did it, I'll give you a patch now. No. The suffering is a process of cleansing the person and giving him the strength to lift himself up and to cleanse himself 100%, and not only to cleanse himself, become better than before. As he's saying, as it says, his averes become mitzvahs. So everything that happens in our life is designed in that direction. And when a person will look at it that way, it says clear in Tanya, it'll be easier for him because it's happening for his benefit. So therefore, what we're saying is that the Mishkan is not only Hashem is showing us that he forgave us, that is helping us to get the forgiveness. And that will explain in that direction the Korbanos also. So we're saying when Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, we asked, what is the difference between the Trumat Tetzav and Hashem is telling Moshe Rabbeinu to build a Mishkan, or in Vayakal Pikudei when Moshe Rabbeinu is telling the Jewish people and they're doing it the Pel Mamish. When Hashem is telling Moshe Rabbeinu, he's giving it to Moshe Rabbeinu the power to us to be able to do the Aveda, but still a revelation of godliness in a higher world. But when we are doing it in a physical way, the Gashmi is here, that's when we are fixing it. So from the point, so we are fixing ourselves. So again, it's not He's forgiving us because He's kind is forgiving us. Because He's kind is helping us, we should be cleansed and not be blemished from the affairs that we did, and not to not be blemished, and ultimately we should transform it into positive. And therefore, that's the advantage of Hashem's Trumat Tetzav, and Hashem is giving the instructions to Moshe Rabbeinu. That's a tremendous revelation of godliness. But here in the physical world, that didn't get yet there. When the Moshe Rabbeinu is telling the Jewish people, and the Jewish people are doing it, it's in a physical way, but the people are doing tshuva. So as far as the revelation of godliness, it's a much lower revelation. It cannot have the revelation that was between Hashem and Moshe Rabbeinu. But as far as the essence of the Eibishter, that the Jew manifests the essence of the Eibishter, that he's one with the Eibishter, and there's nothing beside Hashem. So in building the Mishkan, that's a much higher level than the revelation that was in heaven when Moshe Rabbeinu spoke with the Eibishter, and the Eibishter told him what to do. So down here, it's a much bigger thing. Now let's go to the idea of, we said that Vayakel is a collective idea, even in Vayakel Pikudei, not move away from Trumat Tetzav. And we're going to the idea of Vayakel is mean a collective accomplishment of all the Jewish people, that we all together, we're doing an unbelievable kind of a job. But how about every little detail? I say, okay, that's not so important. It's important because otherwise we need to have it, but how much of the Eibishter you're taking in a detail? So the Chiddush is similar to what we said that Chai Vadam, of course, Ablegah said the whole world is created for him. Not only Beis Reshis B'Shvil the world was created for Torah and Jewish people as a collectiveness. But then comes a higher level of a manifestation, and us bringing the essence of the Eibishter, that every Jew is the whole world created for him. And now we're talking about every detail that you're doing is connecting you with the absolute essence of the Eibishter 100%. And I don't know if I have a source for that, but it could be that in that detail, one meets it more than, in a certain way, in a certain aspect, more than the collective accomplishment of all the Jewish people together. Because you're taking the essence of the Eibishter, so the essence of the Eibishter, just like I said, it's expressed in the collectiveness of the whole Jewish people. But then it's Chai Vadam Lemer B'Shvil, it must express the whole essence of the Eibishter in one person, because in a way you could say essence is undividable. And with every aspect you'll go, that has the whole essence more than anything else. So from that person's point of view, he's the essence, expressing the essence. From another person's point of view, he's expressing the essence. The same thing even in the idea of the collectiveness of the Jewish people. Every detail, and therefore, right, we have to do one mitzvah, we have to do it with wholeheartedly, with tremendous joy, as I said, the Ram said, but David HaMelech, he was dancing, and we unbelievable simcha beyond the Kabbalah, or it says in Purim, it has to be the simcha, that every detail of our life is not only, if I will accomplish my whole job, okay, then accomplish a big thing, but if I just did one mitzvah is absolutely the essence of the Eibishter and is higher than everything else. And could be that what manifests itself was, the Smag said that when a wicked person will never put on tefillin, a Jew, and he's putting on one time tefillin, the Eibishter has more pleasure than a tzaddik puts on tefillin. It means pleasure. Pleasure means that he's accomplishing something more. He's expressing the essence of the Eibishter. The fact that somebody who is a Peshe Yisrael is the lowest level of a person. Not only between God and man and God, even between people. And then, when he's doing a mitzvah, he's connected to the Eibishter. That expresses the connection of the Jew with Eibishter more than the collectiveness of the whole club of everybody. I'm sure you saw, or some of you saw, that a Jew that never put on film came to the Ehel, to the Tzion, to the place where the altar Rabbi is, and he said he saw so many miracles in the war now in Ukraine that he wants to put on film. And therefore, Yiddishkeit is very much connected with the idea of joy. Joy, real joy, is when you're going infinitely beyond what you are, taking yourself into a place where completely beyond yourself. That's only way it could be joy, and that's why, unfortunately, most people are not happy because they're trying to be happy with limited things. Limited things is not going to make you happy. I think we spoke about it before. So, in beginning of Chodesh Adar Beis, there's boring mazel. It's a healthy mazel. It's a good mazel. And that the war is in the Chodesh Adar that is in other words, is like the Gzeira of Haman was for the month of Adar. We transformed everything into positive, and all the Jews around the world, everybody should be safe. As the Rabbi said, the gathering of the Jewish people now, what's happening now is part of the gathering of the exile of the Jewish people. And they said in a few places, they still have to do it in hiding and doing it in different kind of ways, but the majority of places in the world, they could come openly, with easily. So it should be enough that everybody should be able to come out, all the Jews coming to Israel in an easy way and without have to go through any danger. And we have the revelation of Moshiach now, mamish. A good Shabbos, and all the best. Go to.